So yeah, we find ourselves on a city bus on this regular route, and among the other passengers, there's a hippie and a nun, and traveling along the stops, and the nun looks over and notices this hippie's checking her out, and pretty soon the hippie gets up and says, "Oh, what the heck?" And he sits down next to her and says hi, and she says hello, and he says, just blurts it out. He says, "Make love to me," and she says, "Oh, I cannot. I'm married to the Lord." And the hippie's like, "Yeah, well, whatever." So anyway, the bus goes along and drops off all the passengers, and the last stop was the hippie just about to get off, and the bus driver, he stops him and he says, "Hey, I couldn't help but overhear what you said to that nun." He said, "I'll tell you something. If you want a shot at it, I happen to know for a fact that every Tuesday night at midnight, she prays at the church there in town. And you with the long hair and the beard and all," he said, "if you wore a white robe and maybe put some of that luminous powder in your hair and beard, you could pass yourself off as the Lord and tell her you're the Lord. And maybe it'll work." So the hippie says, "You know what? That might work." So anyway, so Tuesday rolls around, and he gets up his little outfit and goes to the church, and sure enough, there's the nun on her knees praying. And he walks up behind her and he says, "My child, it is I, the Lord." And she's just aghast, and she says, "Oh, my prayers have been answered. My Lord," she says, "how can I serve you?" He said, "Well," he said, "make love to me." She says, but I mean, if I must, could we use the rear entrance because to preserve my purity?" The hippie's like, "Hey, sure, you know what? Have it your way." So anyway, pretty soon they're going at it, nun style or doggy style from the back, and he's just hammering away at this nun, and towards the end he just rears back and finishes off with a flourish, and at that point he decides to pull off his hood, and he says to her, "It is I, the hippie." And then she turns around and pulls her mask off and says, "Ha ha, it's me, the bus driver." Watch out.